like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Tuesday, April 22nd. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Got a great one lined up for you. Lots of giveaways to get to. Mari's going to be in a little bit later. And we are a couple minutes late. And that's only because I was just getting ready. I had a last minute bathroom emergency I had to take care of. I don't want to start off the show giving you all that details and stuff, but we're hitting the ground running today. With that said, though, we're starting off the show with a revelation.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, later in the day yesterday, it was revealed the cause of death for Pope Francis, right? He died of stroke at the age of 88. And that's a long run. 88 years old is, an old age for anybody to pass away. Did you know that you and Pope Francis, you, Rico, and Pope Francis has something in common?
Oh, no. What is it?
Well, take a guess. Wild guess.
We both love Pulp Fiction.
No. He's never seen Pulp Fiction, and I don't think he's ever seen a rated R movie. I mean, the fact that you would assume that is kind of rough. But, But I actually wouldn't be surprised if he saw a rated R movie, because this Pope was outside the box in a lot of different ways. He was the people's Pope. And for a little bit of time, he was a bouncer.
Was he really?
He was, yes. Pope Francis was a bouncer. And a lot of people didn't know this, but he was a nightclub bouncer in Buenos Aires, Argentina, which you got to imagine was a rough job. Like, you got to think Patrick Swayze with the sexy accent in Roadhouse. That's what the Pope was in a previous life. He also once owned a Harley, but it's not clear if he ever rode it. But everyone out there who knows someone who owns a Harley knows that they ride that Harley. So if he's a bouncer who owns a Harley, dude rides.
Oh, he rides.
He rides. With the pearly gates of heaven opening up and that long highway going into the internal, he's got the big handlebars.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's kicking back. Yeah, absolutely. Listen to some Fog Hat. He's riding his way in. And if there's a problem outside the door or you need to check ID, he's got you.
Yep. St. Peter's, like, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's obviously, he lived one of those lives that are just so, amazing and just intriguing. And so to be able to experience all that and then become Pope and have such a universal love that he would even offer to baptize aliens. And I'm not talking about illegal immigrants. I'm talking about the ones from outer space. He said once in an interview, if the aliens came, he would baptize them. Yeah, there was no limits.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
To Bigfoot.
Yeah. He's like,
Everybody.
I met worse people bouncing at the club. So aliens, they're probably fine.
Hearing that does make you really wonder every time you see an elderly folk. You're like, oh, they probably have some stories, man. They've been through it.
Oh, yeah. And well,
Used to be a badass.
And I think, you know what, I want you to take this lesson away from you right here, because, as we get older and we're approaching certain like milestones in life, you think that, oh my God, so much life is gone. It's almost over. And it's like, no, actually, in a lot of ways, it's just beginning. There's still so much time that you could become the person you are. And, like Pope Francis, when he was bouncing at the club, maybe had aspirations to be the Pope, but he probably didn't see any clear path that this was ever going to be a reality while he was like literally grabbing a drunk and throwing him outside of the club or baptizing him with tequila. I don't know what he did, but the fact that he was a bouncer, hardcore.
We're looking forward to the AI videos this week.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But you,
Pope Francis?
Yeah.
Being a bouncer? Okay.
No, I get what you're saying. I know that you want to make it now. But don't. Don't. Okay, fine. Do just one and post it to our page just so I can see it. You've been doing pretty good with the AI mock-ups and stuff, right?
A little bit.
You've been having
I haven't been dabbling with the video too much. It freaks me out.
Okay, so yeah, what videos did you start doing that? Was it freaked you
I
out?
haven't started doing them. I get freaked out by watching them on Instagram.
Oh,
like sometimes it's getting to the point where you can't differentiate anymore.
Yeah,
it scares me.
Yeah. What were some of the telltale signs that somebody could like kind of spot AI videos that so you know that it's AI as opposed to a real video?
Wasn't it the hands for a while?
Yeah, hands is one. Yeah,
but now it's not even to that point. And it's just like that. You get that weird sixth sense. You're just like, there's something off.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look further. And you're like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Fake.
Yeah. I mean, we're at that age where seeing is not believing at this point. But but yeah. Well, like if you get any other tips, then let me know because right now I see actually when I get bored, if you look at like the dating sites, you're starting to see more dating profiles that are AI as well. So like it's everywhere. So you just got to be wary of that. But, speaking of AI, a lot of us choose to want to be nice and polite when it comes to using our AI because, you assume that they're logging all this and, there might be some secret file of, are you a rude person or are you a nice person? They say that you shouldn't even bother being a nice person because saying please and thank you literally wastes millions of dollars a day with computing power for like ChatGPT and other sources like that. So I know I am victim of that. I have definitely, cultivated things and said, please, can you make it better, please? And a thank you. And every time I do that, millions of dollars just wasted. So when it comes
especially when you speak like an Italian with the extra vowels.
Yes, because they have to decipher, which accent I'm culturally appropriating. And that's that's $1 billion cost right there. So with that, just get to the point with your prompts and I guess you're going to save everyone a bunch of money. And I think even more important than money is what we're not even thinking about. The same thing when mining Bitcoin is the amount of power and resources that it consumes just to generate this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
People talk about the electricity use and all that. I think that's the one thing they can probably, harp on a little bit more is like, yeah, it's using a lot of, you're killing the planet by being nice.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
Yeah.
But I really do think they should program it in there if they notice you saying thank you too much, where it's just like, we get it.
Yeah.
You're nice.
Yeah.
You're on our list. Don't worry.
And I think this really goes out to the people who are just utilizing AI as a artificial companion, just know that every time you have a conversation with your new fake best friend, a baby sparrow dies.
I should tell you the reminder on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, this is how many dolphins you've killed today.
Yeah, look at that. You just eradicated an adorable species. Never going to see them again. Didn't even stick around long enough for us to get DNA so we could clone them in the future. So that's on you because you were lonely on Saturday night. All right, let's get this show going here. We'll start things off with the listener giveaway. I have a 4-pack of tickets for the Pima County Fair. I know you want those. This will get you entry into the fair any day that's going on, but you could always join us this Friday for 7 Dust with these tickets. So if you'd like to go to the Pima County Fair for free and bring the whole family, be caller number 10 right now, 600 KFMA, 605-362. We got your Morning Moron coming up right after Nirvana, so stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, I got a 602 number, Mari. That's Phoenix. I know well. Rock 102.1. Who's this?
Hey, this is Matt. How are you?
Good. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, I just received a text that you guys gave me Power Man tickets tonight. Thank you for that. But I didn't hear how many. Is it 1 or is it 2 or 4? Or?
It's gonna be 2 tickets for Power Man 5,000 tonight at the Rock.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. Keep rocking.
No worries, dude. Congratulations. Yeah, so that was Matt from Phoenix winning Power Man 5,000 tickets to the Rock. Yeah, that was good. And good morning, everybody on the stream.
Hello.
That was our show open, and that is a fun fact. That it is, if you say please or thank you to ChatGPT, you're wasting millions of dollars to ChatGPT. So they're asking everyone to just cut the bullshit and just get to the point.
You told me to, though.
I know, because this is where I was mistaken. And this is what I just literally just learned because of this piece that was just written up by them. Because I assumed, and I'm not assuming incorrectly, by the way, like right now, the AI, ChatGPT in particular, is the one I'm most familiar with, is logging everything, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that it's storing your interactions so that way it could go off of past information and new information. I literally asked ChatGPT to describe my show to me, And based off of how I interacted with it and listening to the show as we speak, it was able to perfectly describe the show. Yeah, which is fantastic. I'm actually going to use it as a new bio for the KFMA website. But, they say that, while it's logging all this stuff, I assume that since it is keeping track of who you are as a person, then get ahead of it and be like, hey, I'm a pretty nice person, right? You like my manners? Did they teach you manners? You know about manners. That's encoded in you. And they're like, we give 0 fucks about manners. So,
I don't know. I still want to say that though.
And well, you're going to be wasting money. And like I said, when you waste money, ChatGPT, but no, it's also wasting resources because we talked about how, to generate this, it masses tons of energy, right? So like mining Bitcoin was the example I gave in the show open. It's not good. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back. Beef Vegan Presents. Our top story today is a sex scandal. Shannon Sharpe has been on top of the world for many years, and recently he's been a very successful podcaster and sports personality. And right now he is in the middle of a lot of controversy over a relationship and allegations of sexual misconduct. Now, he responded by releasing text messages from the woman who was accusing him of rape. She just responded with releasing a voicemail from Shannon Sharpe. I can't play that voicemail on the air. I can read you some of the text messages, and I will after Shinedown's A Symptom of Being Human. But we're going to play that voicemail right now for the first time to hear what this is all about. And it could go either way, but according to the headline, it's not a good look. Yeah, so we have that and a whole lot more going on in the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because we'll be back after music from Shinedown on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Yeah, it's a thing. Let's see.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, Shannon Sharpe. You'll recognize him.
Yeah, no, I just looked him up. I don't.
You don't recognize him?
Know him? No, I don't know him.
Okay. That makes sense, though. A lot of people do. Here's the voicemail in question, about 45 seconds long. Let's hear how bad it is for Shannon Sharpe. Because at this point, I'm like, well, is he going to get canceled, right? Or like, is his career over? Is it that bad? Is it criminal? There's a lot of questions here. It's too early to tell or make any assumptions and stuff. But let's listen, hear what it says.
Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Manners?
Well, he said choke the shit out of you when I see you, but he said thank you. He said manners.
You know what?
I think you're focusing on the wrong part of the conversation, but yes.
No, it's terrible.
I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Well, that's not good. That's not going to be good. So this was released after the response of him releasing the text message thread, right? So text message thread, I'll read here in a little bit. So this is not good. It's not good for a lot of reasons. And, there's not too much of the story that I know that I could make any assumptions. Right now, we're just kind of have to reading what's on the surface. And, these are serious allegations. This was a relationship that got awry and obviously toxic. And with any kind of threats like this and being documented, yeah. I mean, he's employed by ESPN, which is employed by Disney or owned by Disney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's been a prominent figure. He's been one of the most successful the past few years as far as being in that position of a commentator and podcast host. In fact, actually the clip that we have of Cat Williams that went viral, or the Cat Williams interview that went viral that exploded, was him talking with Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just made one little clip from that and got like 100,000 views or something like that on the YouTube page. So it's insane. So like it's crazy. Huh?
Yeah. And then she sounds young.
Well, she's not. I think she's maybe in her 30s. Well, here's the thing. She was going to be Jane Doe, right? Oh, no, she is young. She's 20-something-year-old. Oh, so yeah, that's young. That's another thing, too. Like, you get to a certain age and prominence, what are you even doing? You're playing with fire, and eventually it's going to catch up with you. So that's maybe the lesson. Rock 102.1 KFMA, welcome back. Beef Eager Presents. We just played the audio clip in question of Shannon Sharpe talking to his ex-girlfriend who just accused him of rape. So this is a big deal. And the back and forth is going pretty rough, and it's out there right off the bat. Now, initially, she filed under Jane Doe. And Shannon Sharpe and his attorney then just outed her and was like, no, it's not Jane Doe. This is her name, which I don't want to share at this point in time, right? Because she's not a public figure. And this is a case that's getting pretty crazy. But when Shannon Sharpe and his attorney released the name of Jane Doe in question, he also released screenshots of text messages. Now, this was a 20-something-year-old girlfriend and accuser. Here are some of the text messages that were sent, okay? Call me. I feel like effing with you. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're blanking me. Now, this is her texting him.
Right.
Okay. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then you could do whatever you want to me.
Ooh, graphic.
Right? Trying to get a kid. And I want to put my tongue in your blank and then marry you. You may now kiss the bride. But no.
That was in there?
No, I added the may now kiss the bride because, it's like you're going to put your tongue where and then marry and then kiss the bride, right? Is it a tongue kiss? I don't know. Maybe kiss on the cheek at that point. But yeah, it's crazy because, as this story was breaking yesterday, the voicemail was then released in the Jane Doe in question, which basically Shannon Sharpe, essentially, he's a 56-year-old man, kind of threatened her. I mean, it was a threat. I'm going to choke the blank out of you when I see you. That was a full-blown threat, which is caught on audio, and that's not good. Now, of course, Shannon Sharpe is a spokesperson or an analysis for ESPN, which is owned by Disney, right? And he's now being sued for $50 million over these rape allegations. $50 million. That's a lot, right? Now, she is a 20-something-year-old ex-girlfriend. He's 56 years old. Now, I'm not age shaming, right? Because, if they're adults and they're consenting adults, it's good. But if you're a man of prominence or a person of prominence, right, with money and fame, then to date so young and to also like engage in like a toxic relationship, and it was kind of like they were kinky, but then it also was like definitely aggressive, and it started getting very vicious at some point in time in their relationship. You're playing with fire, right? And this is the type of drama that you're going to get when you're dating in your early 20s anyways. And as a 56-year-old man, like you just invited this drama into your life.
Oh, yeah.
And whether you're innocent or not in this situation, this is now your life. And this is front page. And now you got dopes in Tucson talking about what is going on in your life, dude. And it's like not good. So it just seemed like a smarter man or person would be able to be like, no. Maybe I'll, date more age appropriate and try to avoid these kind of red flags. But being single at that age too, and the guy still has an 8-pack, he's a physical specimen. Right. So he's literally one of these people who could have like pretty much any woman he wants. Right. But to pick those women, young, women who may like not be emotionally mature at a certain point. Which I don't know. I'm not throwing an accusation. It just seems like it was a dangerous game plan to begin with.
Yes. What did he do though?
Well, I mean, what did he do to rise to fame?
No, yeah, he was a
he was a football player for the NFL for many years, very successful in that with the Denver Broncos, and then went on to be a sports analyst. And he's always been kind of like a well-liked public figure. So a lot of people call him Unc, just like Justin Spears did. Like he is one of the, probably you can count on your like one hand, who's the most successful and most liked sports personalities in the industry today. So Shannon Sharpe's in the conversation.
I just don't get why these like super like successful, wealthy, popular people do this though. Because like
sex,
that's it.
Yeah. I know. It's odd too, because at 56 too, and I'm sure testosterone is coursing through his veins like Budweiser through the tap at your local bar, right? Like it's just there, and it's probably not deplenished whatsoever. So I'm sure his sex drive is high, and we've actually heard him have sex within the last 18 months because he accidentally went Instagram live.
This guy.
That's the same guy.
Yeah.
So it's his D that keeps getting him in this situation.
Man.
So no matter where he's advancing in his career, but the person that's getting in the way of him being successful in his career is his little man. Yeah, which I'm sure is still probably twice the size of me in person, right? It's probably
lop it off.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, his D is completely destroying his life. His sex drive is completely destroying his life because now this is another instant where, it's like, dude, you're making headlines for all the wrong reason. Because you're just trying to smash. There's got to be a better way. Got to be a better way.
Mm-hmm. You can cut it off.
No, that's not a better way.
That's a better way.
No, it's not. That's not a better way to anybody. There's not one single man out there that's thinking that's a better way, right?
I think it's the best way.
No, you could have, an older situationship, which are mutual understanding. If you got freakness and stuff, then you can travel different countries. And I don't know. There's got to be a better way than chopping it off.
That's the only way.
No, it's not. Abstinence, I guess.
Not with it. You got to have it off.
You could just sit on it, I mean, Shannon Sharp, I'm sure sometimes if he sits down too fast, he's like, oh, no, sorry. I'll sit on my D. So I'm sure that happens to him. So there's plenty of ways. There's got to be a better way. We obviously don't have the answer for you.
Sorry, Shannon.
Yeah. But thanks for listening, Shannon Sharp. And clean up your act, man. I don't want to, I know too much about Shannon Sharp's sex life in 2025.
I know.
And that was not something that I was expecting. All right, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. There, Rico has a little surprise for Mari, as he did a very special 5-star review on a local business called BLX Skateshop. And you know a thing or two about that, right?
I sure do.
It's your husband's skate shop. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hear all about Rico's experience on the podcast broadcast and be back after music from Offspring on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah.
Just cut it off.
No, don't.
Scissors.
Stop saying that. First off, it's going to take more than scissors to cut off Shannon Sharp's wang. You're probably going to need head shears.
Oh, clipper.
Yeah. See. Look at Mari has the look of someone who's stuck in yet another conversation about penis. Top story today, trending story. When we come back, we're going to laugh at Tom Brady dancing. But before that, yes, Rico did have a fantastic 5-star review. And it was probably one of his best because, he put in a little extra effort because he's got a lot of love from Mari and Kenzo. So in case you missed his 5-star review, it went a little something like fantastic job. At the same time, you're like, where was this female singer? I did not see her at all. All right. It is now, let's see, 6:31. And as you know by now, my good friend Rico, he likes to go to various establishments throughout the old Pueblo. And when he has a pleasurable experience, he immediately rushes to Google to leave a 5-star review. And you did that again this week, right, Rico?
Indeed, I did.
All right. Where did you review?
BLX Skateshop.
Tell me all about your experience.
So, catching some new winds of confidence after rolling out of my 420 slumber, I told myself it's time to pick up some new hobbies that are physically and mentally stimulating. As someone who has a Patrick Bateman level of daily supplements, I figured my joints and energy could withstand something borderline ridiculous to capture elements of my youth that I never took advantage of.
Okay.
Like Tony Soprano, I never had the makings of a varsity athlete and got into a life of Italian food and crime instead of testing my physical prowess. And by crime, I mean I still harbor guilt for using Napster and LimeWire. Allegedly.
They can't prove it.
And by Italian food, I mean Olive Garden. Still, I feel like I can recapture my youth and hold on to it like a desperate, withering golem while getting validation from people I don't care about. My mind raced for ideas. Formula One racer? My name isn't European enough, and I'm too broke, and my ass is too big to fit into the cars.
Fair.
Golf? Too broke, and I don't look good in those goofy-ass clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Pickleball? Oversaturated market, and I never see attractive girls dating pickleball dudes.
Never.
Then it hit me. Something that's been lurking in the back of my mind since I was a youth, surrounded by CKY fanatics, anarchy-minded friends, and teen pregnancy. Something that's been there ever since I wore Vans just for the comfort factor alone. Something that tingled my jingle when I first landed a front flip impossible to the sounds of Evil Eye by Fu Manchu. Skateboarding.
Oh, yeah.
Was I a poser then? No, because I wasn't a skater. Would I be a poser now? 100%. But it's 2025, not 1995, and I think that word is out of fashion. The youth would probably just call me old and divorced and mentally unstable, which actually cuts deeper. Either way, I decided to take action. Just a few months ago, my friend paid to get slapped by Bam Margera, and witnessing that alone lit a fire inside of me when I thought there was nothing left. It was at a place called BLX skateboard shop. So I decided it was a perfect spot to battle my existential crisis and surrounded myself with the culture and weasel my way in. I took a few deep breaths on the corner of 6th and Alameda looking at this corner brick building while wearing my overpriced Jinkos I found on eBay with a hoodie that said skate or die with a rad skeleton holding a skateboard. I tightened up the laces of my Vans Gilbert Crockett high skate shoes and walked through the doors. I immediately and deliberately stumbled and dropped an issue of Thrasher magazine on the floor in front of the guy at the counter.
Oh, did I drop that?
I combed back my hair, stood up and said, "My bad, bro. Sorry for dropping my 1993 issue of Thrasher magazine featuring John Cardiel ollieing through a ring of fire." The guy's
nice flex.
The guy's eyes widened and he said, "No problemo, my dude. You stepped right into the gnarliest, most radical skate emporium this side of the cosmos. We're talking decks so fresh, they still got tree sap on them, and wheels smoother than a dolphin in a tuxedo.
No.
Welcome to Shred Heaven. Population you."
I've never heard anyone sound like that in blocks.
My social anxiety started to peak, and I realized I wasn't cut out for this LARP. My head was spinning, and as I looked at all the cool decks on the wall and the superb selection of shoes, I just muttered, "Bros, if I don't feel so good, I'm gonna go blow chunks and come back later."
Blow chunks.
He saw right through me and said, "Do you even skate, old man? Can you even name the 4 original Gonsboard graphics while Googling it? What's your stance on pressure flips, innovative or war crimes? You ever nose manualed across a parking lot while contemplating the existential implications of Rodney Mullen's contribution to quantum mechanics? You were 360 flipped over your own insecurities while reenacting the 2002 Tampa Pro in a Waffle House parking lot?
Damn.
Didn't think so. Come back to me when you up the gnar."
And
then he mysteriously lowered out of sight behind the counter. A single tear squirted from my socket, and I realized I had to go on a skateboarder's hero's journey before coming back. I think I found my new obsession. 5 stars.
Oh my God. Did you spell NAR, GNAR?
Of course I did.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
So I want to see what level of poser you were at. So
I Googled it, bros.
That's an actual factual 5-star Google review that you could come across if you Google BLX Skateshop. That's Block Skate Shop. Excellent job there, Rico. Of course, if you come across Rico's 5-star review, make sure you leave him a 5-star review as well. Let's hit the reset. We got music on the way from Green Day. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, there you go. That was Rico's 5-star review. What'd you think?
That's good stuff, Rico.
Yeah, so he wanted to wait for you to be in studio, and I said, sorry, we don't wait that long. All right, so we got a show to do, and
I loved it.
Yeah,
So good.
I already had you on my schedule. I don't move that around. All right, I got things that are going to trip you out here in a little bit. We wrap today, too, but we do not have footage of that. That's an Instagram liver. And of course, unfortunately, we don't get to see Mari's blank face because she blanks out whenever I talk about Shannon Sharp's penis or rap about it. And so,
Yes, I do.
yeah, I know, which is fine. That's nice, I guess.
I go to my happy place.
What's your happy place? It's not me rapping, huh? All right, that's fair. That's fair.
No, today was good though. It was a good one.
Oh, today was good. Well, then
Yeah.
I don't think it was good. Then it was probably whack. If you think it's good,
No, I think it was one of the better ones.
Explain why.
Shorter.
Yep, it was shorter. So you like that it's not as much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
shorter, more concise.
Concise.
Good beat,
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't make the beat.
but you picked it.
I did pick the beat. I picked it on the fly too. Luckily for Mari and everyone else, I do have the audio right here that I could just play it back, and so you could see her rock out to it because she liked it so much. I wasn't planning on playing it, but I mean, if you're a fan, then fuck, dude.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I will. Right?
Can't wait.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We'll drop that beat. Bumps on my skin, nosebleeds drip. Gone for a minute, lost whole trip. Flashbacks hit, mine don't sit. If they took you too, then this might just fit. Bumps on my skin, nosebleeds drip. Gone for a minute, lost whole trip. Flashbacks hit, mine don't sit. If they took you too, then this might just fit. Yo, I had right-side things in my flesh. Doc said strange, now give me some rest. X-ray lit up like a UFO nest. Now I'm shot out phones like I failed the test. What? I walked out thinking I'd be 20 minutes top. Came back home, moon up, time stop. Neighbors weirded out, yeah, they called the cops. But my shoes still clean, no dirt, no drops. Then the time dreams hit like vivid greens and grays. I messed that being part up. spoken, delays and phase. Your kind ain't ready, but you blaze the way. Next thing I knew, I could bend the sun rays. Bumps on my skin, nosebleeds drip. Gone for a minute, lost whole trip. Flashbacks hit, mine don't sit. If they took you too, then this might just fit. Yeah. Bumps on the skin, nosebleeds drips. Gone for a minute, lost whole trip. Flashbacks hit, mine don't sit. If they took you too, then this might just fit.
Now I read vibes like a live stream chat. See
Yelling.
oars glow in a room gone flat.
What?
Said I changed twice since I left and came back. Like I swapped timelines on a quantum track.
What?
Woke up levitating, cold air thick. Voice in my head said you're part of the clique.
Huh?
Didn't believe till my thoughts got slick. Now I finished your sentence before you even pick.
What?
Steel said he got powers from reptile host. I just know I can ghost through most. Got a feeling that I'm one of the...
They started slipping. See, you're falling asleep, so I'll stop. Jesus.
It was good. It was good.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
I don't know, man. As I get older, just hip hop in me, or just like
The hip hop in you. Well, I mean, you're always been a rocker chick, and I appreciate that. No one actually assumes by looking at you that you're a rocker chick, but you are like a metal chick. You did grow up in Tucson, so I think that had a strong influence on that.
It's all Tucson.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's just how it is. And you know what? You're real. You keep it real. You throw up the horns and you mean it. You're no poser when it comes to this station. You know, we're the posers who are rapping on a rock station. So but I do I don't mean that in disrespect to me. I'm not disrespecting myself. I like all different types of music, and hip hop was my first one. That
I know.
it's okay. Don't feel
Important
bad
to
for
you.
me. Don't feel bad for me.
No.
That's how I learned vocabulary, and and rhymes, and the skills that I developed at a young age and stuff. I've been able to incorporate in this career just because ad libbing and being quick off the cuff kind of things,
Yeah.
and not even just rhyming, just joking. When I've been, I said some jokes this morning that made you laugh. I didn't write those down.
No. You have the quickness.
I'm down with the quickness.
You are down with the quickness.
I knew you would like that because that's disturbed.
Uh-huh. That was quick.
Rock 1 2x1 KFMA. There you go. That's finger 11. I have something that's going to blow your mind here, Mari.
What is it?
Okay, so you know how there's twins, right? There's identical twins. There's fraternal twins. You ever meet twins that know each other so well that they can finish each other's sentences?
No, but I imagine Siamese twins are like that.
Siamese twins aren't really like that. They have their individual brains and whatnot, but there were a set of twins that did go viral because they are so weird that they are able to do the freakiest twin stuff you could even think of. And that is literally go word for word finishing each other's sentences.
Whoa.
Yeah. And there was a recent news report where a news reporter came across these twins. And it blew her mind. I mean, look at her face right here before I even play the clip. You're going to see the look of shock. Like what I'm about to show you is deeply disturbing. And it's just twins being twins, right? And so let's play this news story. This is from News 7, and this has gone viral on TikTok. Check this out.
Recounting some of the drama that unfolded on the Sunshine Coast this afternoon. Two sisters have told how their mother and man raced to help when the carjacked SUV rolled on Steve Irwin Way, only to find the gun-wielding car thief emerging from the wreck. Here's some of what they had to say.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there, and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run! He's got a gun!" And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, are you all right? Because he had all blood all over his face.
I'm gonna stop it right there. There's more, but I mean, you see what's going on here?
Yeah, but I kind of see one just like hearing her other sister and then like adding like just mimicking what she's saying.
Well, yeah. At one point, you as a reporter, you're gonna be like, "Can one of you just shut that f up, dude?" Like, let decide which sister's the dominant sister to tell the story. But they're dressed identically, they look identical, and they are still telling the exact same story verbatim. And just they're just taking turns on whether or not who's gonna take the lead. And okay, you guys said you can't hear it, so I'll turn it up even more here. So here, you'll be able to hear this a little bit more. All right, check this out.
And he goes, I'll shoot you. She goes, hey, I'm here to help. And Mum distracting him to make him look the other way. And
see, they're literally, it's not that they are saying it at the same time.
They're kind of flip-flopping.
This is something that you and I can't do. Even if we were reading something verbatim, I don't know if we'd be able to sync up like that. Like, think about this. Like, as they're talking, you're going to hear the other one, like one will be like starting the sentence and the other will finish it verbatim along with her sister. So it sounds like dual surround sound, right?
he looked the other way and Mum ran into the bush behind the fence. And the guy goes to her, I'll find you and I'll shoot you. All I was thinking about when we were running, I hope he doesn't fire. Yeah, we were so blessed.
How close to him do you think you were?
Well, see, he was up there and we were...
Look at that. They're literally saying the exact same thing. I don't know how you're not impressed by this. Like, what are you thinking? Like, anyone could do this?
I'm thinking they rehearsed this.
I'm thinking they didn't rehearse this. I'm thinking they're also like, this reporter's like, what in the hell did I just stumble across? What in the Barnum and Bailey did I come across here? And so, Todd is saying, let me get you the link of Beastie Boys. But yeah, this Beastie Boys writing songs and, practicing that, they don't get that on the first time. Beastie Boys didn't freestyle this kind of stuff, right? These twins right now are, literally telling a story of what happened to them, but telling it verbatim in a way that they know what the other person is going to say at the same time that they're going to say it. And you have zero Fs. You're giving 0 Fs about this. You're not impressed by this at all.
I'm suspicious.
Like you think this is one big ruse. Well, let's listen a little bit more. Again, this was literally a news reporter on the scene reporting a crime. They come across the victims of the crime that are eyewitnesses, just happens to be identical twins, dressing the same and speaking the same way, telling the story exactly the same.
See, when you drive away, you don't think of all of that at the time. No, you just run for your safety.
Guaranteed they're single.
Oh, they mixed it up a little bit there.
A little bit, but
Life
yeah,
and safety.
Guaranteed they're single, dude, because you couldn't date one and have a conversation with one without the other one just piping up the entire time.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Yeah, man, it's got to be nearly impossible, right? So they're guaranteed single, nor they're probably not even lonely. How can you be lonely in this scenario, right? But yeah, you still are not impressed by this whatsoever.
No.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there, and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, run.
Come on! How is that unimpressive, dude?
We will just agree to disagree.
Yeah, look, everyone, I blame the internet for ruining everything because everyone's so skeptical. Even Patrick says they kind of look like they're reading it as well, but I do not believe that as well. I don't think an Aussie reporter is like on the street and be like, oh, you guys are twins? I got an idea for a bit while reporting on the news. Read this and try to do it at the same time. It'll blow people's minds, mate, right? No. I am impressed by this, but apparently nobody on the stream is. And
no, somebody else said that they knew twins. They did the same thing, and it was really crazy.
Yeah, it's DJ Serpent, and shout out to him. He said Chris and Josh are twins. They speak at the same time, sound like this even when in different parts of the house. That's going to be annoying as hell, is it not? Are your two friends annoying as hell? Because but all right.
So it's like a first-person account, so like I can believe that. This one's like, I don't know.
It's a first and second person to account.
Is it
the same person? Or are you just discrediting one because she's a duplicate of the other? That's rude. Is that not rude? Sorry, we're only going to take one eyewitness testimonial. The other one looks just like you, so it doesn't count, man. Not in Australia, not in this kangaroo court, huh? Jesus. All right, well, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm impressed by simple things here.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it could be rehearsed. Yeah, Patrick, I don't understand how in this scenario it's going to be rehearsed where they're just like, hey, sister, hey, twin sister. Now they're Southern, by the way. I got an idea. So when the news reporter reports about us being victimized of a crime, you know how a guy robbed me and our mom, right? Let's sync up our story so much that we're literally just like rapping and you're a backup MC, just pluralizing my tones here. No, that doesn't make sense. Chris and Josh were on an MTV show about twins. They do it all the time. You should look it up. Well, see if you can drop the link there if you can find it there. You know what though? You could say that they're listening to each other and saying the obvious thing, but it's just a lot more hard. It's more difficult to pull off than you would assume.
You know what? It's soaking in, and I'm getting what you're putting down. Like I think there is some excitement in this.
I think you're just saying this just so I could drop it. I'm not.
There's always like people that have like seen that, you know. So like,
totally.
I believe that.
All right. See, I convinced. I convinced Mari. My day is done. Earlier this morning, Justin Spears had a huge moment in his life. He had a huge opportunity. He went viral locally for showing off his long snap skills. And the coach of U of A football saw this and gave him a tryout to be on the team. How did he do? Well, we talked about it earlier this morning. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. In studio, very special guest. He is the official beat writer for the U of A Wildcats, co-host of Spears and Ali on ESPN 1490, and potentially this season's long snapper for the U of A Wildcats. I mean, is this a possibility, Justin Spears?
Maybe. In the college football landscape today, I don't know what eligibility is anymore, right? You got guys that are playing at the University of Miami for 9 years.
Yeah, dude.
So there's a college basketball player that's going to be like 26 next season. So
it's all Van Wilders.
Van Wilders,
yeah, dude. Super seniors all over the place. Like, how is this even possible?
Exactly. So maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, you've already graduated,
maybe.
Technically, right? But, I mean, you didn't really get that time in on the field. So, you didn't expire that. So I guess you can go back for a double major.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the reason why we're even bringing this up because Justin Spears posted this on his social media page. He was actually on the field during a warm up. Are you not wearing socks too? Is that how hardcore you are?
Yes.
Damn.
You're not wearing socks?
No.
Damn. So you'll go out there and what kind of shoes are these?
Yeezys, man.
Okay. Yeah. In Yeezys to try out for the football team. Yeezys, no socks. This is how he goes. Well, this is the coach. What is the name of the coach of our football team again?
Brent Brennan.
Yeah. So Brent Brennan's having a meeting amongst all his other coaches. This is what Brent Brennan had to say. And so this didn't even play from the beginning.
Yeah, so yeah, that's at the end of the video there. But yeah, they had a team meeting.
Inspirations. Have we, or maybe we can do it today at practice, requested Mr. Spears long snaps for a field goal in the game. Dude, he put it on social. He put it on social and he ripped it.
Oh, he really did.
Ripped it. Ripped it. But it was impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're hearing him. We're watching this. You're going to see it later on the podcast broadcast. A little to the right. Yeah, okay, so what was the critique when they said, I mean, you got it to the, the quarterback or the punter in this scenario, but it was a little to the right. So what was their feedback?
Yeah, they were like, hey, you got it to the punter.
Okay.
It wasn't in the dirt. It could have, had some more RPM on it.
Yeah, a little more RPM seems like, yeah.
But they were like, you got it there. So we'll take it. I'll rate myself a solid 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, so you're rating yourself 6.5, and this is unbiased journalism right here.
That's a generous rate too.
Yeah. Okay. So totally biased. And so like totally it was 4.5, maybe.
Sure.
Okay. Were nerves a factor?
100%.
Okay. So you're on the field. Who's all out there? You got the entire squad that's going to be out there?
The whole football team.
Yeah.
The entire football team, everyone who was there for the Red Blue Showcase. Everyone, all eyes on your boy, Justin Spears.
Yeah. Okay. And now, luckily, there wasn't any injuries for our long snapper, so they didn't have to call you in, or the nerves really would have got to you, and maybe you would have unintentionally had a turnover because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. What about your press colleagues? Were they there as well?
Yes, they were all there. They were impressed. But my guy, Michael Lev, who's a senior writer and columnist for the Arizona Daily Star, he was like, it's a little off to the side, had a flutter, just not your best work. And I'm like, thanks for the honest criticism, Lev.
Easy, bro.
That's how the journalists are, man. You got to be unbiased.
Yeah, but you know what? I appreciate him because he was very honest.
Yeah.
So we could have talked about the wind direction too.
Yeah,
weather
was it
conditions? Come on.
Was it windy?
No, not
was
at
the
all.
sun in your eyes?
Not at all. The sun was just going down
conditions.
It was actually pristine conditions. Not gonna lie to you.
Field condition.
The field condition, the turf was beautiful.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. So yeah, the snap was all on the user.
Okay, too bad. Was there a lot of boosters there? Because obviously it's a big program, so a lot of people contribute financially to U of A. Did any of them pull back their funding after seeing this?
No, honestly, because they saw my practice snaps. I did get some practice in.
Okay,
and the kickers, the other long snappers, they were like, oh. Look at Justin. And so I looked over at the NIL booster from the NIL collective and I was like, I accept payments of Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
So all the sauce.
And they're like, we knew that before you even said anything.
And I was hoping the snap would be just awesome.
Yeah.
So I could pull the whole Pete Weber move, the PBA bowler. I was like, who do you think you are? I am.
Yes.
The soundbite.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's so amazing. Well, honestly, I'm proud of you either way, even though you didn't make the team. I feel like just the fact that the coaches, the administration took that notice, even gave you the opportunity to show off your skills. Did you feel like it was an Al Bundy moment? Like this is you showing off your peak athleticism?
Yes. Because listen, man, as you guys know, I'm not the most athletically gifted person in the world, right?
What?
I don't know.
So
that's crazy.
The fact that I was able to kind of perfect my craft as a long snapper back in my day, that's an era that I will always appreciate. And so when Arizona needed a long snapper because their only long snapper entered the portal, I was like, you know what? Let me get the cobwebs off the old long snapping arms and let me record it. And I put a paper plate up against the pool gate at my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let me aim for the target. Got the target right on the money. It was a perfect snap. And I was like, man, this is cool. And then the Arizona football team, they appreciated it.
We're back here. Gonna get on the air in about 3 seconds. Got an in-studio, very special guest about to introduce. Rock 1 2.1, KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast. We're joined by U of A alum. He's a comedian, and he's an author of a book that's called Joy Punks, Writing on the Wall. Has an author name of Fletcher, but your name is Jack, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So which you want to go by when we talk about Joy Punks? Fletcher, the author name? Or
yeah, let's go by the author name.
Is your last name Fletcher? Is it Jack Fletcher?
Yes, my last name is Fletcher.
Okay, nice. So is your nickname Fletch too then?
So what happened was when I was applying to U of A, they asked if I had a nickname.
Yeah.
And I thought it would look good on a college resume if I had a nickname because I was 17 and I was a moron. So I wrote Fletch. And then on every official document for the next 4 years, my name was Fletcher, and I couldn't get it changed. It was a nightmare.
That's funny, and it is interesting that they would ask this, and and want you to be identified by your nickname all through U of A. When did you graduate?
So I actually started in 2016. When COVID happened, I was like, I'll just go back to school later.
Yeah.
And then I actually just finished up in December. So.
Okay, so you pulled a Van Wilder. You were a super senior.
Yeah. I took 4 years off and then went back and finished it. So.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on finishing it. The story is pretty interesting. As Mara's reading the back of this, it's about an ordinary teenager named Danny, who finds out one day that at 18 that he's going to die when he's 27. Yeah. And then the story continues. So from there, it's a spiritual journey. How would you best describe it?
It is it's like a slice of life novel for someone who's struggling with drug abuse, and kind of about how we all, find our own way,
Yeah, how this story inspire you? Like, where did you come up with the story? I know that you're a stand-up comedian as well. Did you experience any of the stuff that Danny experienced through the book?
I mean, for sure, anyone who writes fiction, you're writing about yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some elements of me in the book, but it's also, it's science fiction, so it's kind of its own character.
Yeah. So you're like, there's some like crazy scenarios that happen throughout this book that didn't necessarily happen or couldn't really necessarily happen in real life, right?
Or I heard it from like a secondhand source. I was like, oh, that's good. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. So when did you start wanting to aspire to be like a novelist and write a book?
I mean, I always wanted to do something creative with my life, and originally that was stand-up, but when COVID happened, I had to stop doing stand-up.
Yeah, without stage time.
Yes, I just started doing writing a book, and eventually got to the point where I was like, I think I can finish this and do something with it.
Yeah.
And that's what you see before you.
Yeah, I love that too, because, and again, independently produced, right? So what is some of the process? You get the book, right? You got to proofread it. You got to do, what are some of the steps that, say someone out there listening is an aspiring author as well, and wants to get a book published like this. So what were some of the things that you had to do that you learned through the process of getting this book out there?
Absolutely. So one of the craziest things was one of my old roommates, his grandfather owned a book publishing company.
Nice.
And so I reached out to him, and he said he loved it. He'd love to publish it, but he had sold his company 2 months earlier. So I was like,
one of those, dude.
Yeah, it's like, but his little comment is at the first page under the praise. But anyways, he was like, I can give you some connections though. So he hooked me up with an editor and a cover designer. And then the rest I just learned from the internet. Just sort of like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So and now that you're an author, so what's the step there? I mean, you're out here obviously promoting the book, Joy Punks, available like Amazon, everywhere.
Barnes and Noble.
Nice. Yeah. Online, or you can find Joy Punks in store yet?
Not in store.
Yeah. So you could get it anywhere online. And did you also do an audiobook for this? Or are you at that point?
No.
Okay.
So I thought about it, but it's a lot of money. And then the other thing is a lot of time because you have to edit the whole thing yourself.
Yeah, I can do it for you right now.
Just go for it. Yeah.
In your voice.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, well, give me a little backstory on Danny. He's 18 years old. Is he a partier? Did he have like a rough life?
He wasn't a partier. He was like, he had like a good kind of easy life. And he thinks he's going to get great numbers and he's going to live a happy life. And so in the prologue, he's amped.
Okay, he's amped. He's still young. So he's probably not as rough around the edges as like I sound. I sound like I've lived a couple lives on the sea.
You'll be perfect for chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll skip. Can I skip ahead to chapter
Please.
2? Okay, because the prologue starts with I turn 18 today. I don't know if I could tap into that. Let's see. Go.
Or chapter 1. A few years later.
Okay, well I'll do chapter 2. Okay, because I'm a little rough now. And now after he discovers that he's going to pass away at 18. You discover that you have an infinite, not an infinite amount of time, but you have finite amount of time left on this planet.
Yeah.
Right, which is a gift and a curse at the same time.
Oh, for sure. It's like, do you want to know everything, or some things better left to not knowing?
Right. And so if you want to try to get everything done and experience life to the fullest within its bound time, this is what you want to do. All right. I was woken up around 9 by the same nurse named Kathy. She turned on the TV and said I would be leaving soon. The TV switched on to a documentary about how different cultures reacted to the numbers. Rwanda banned its citizens from receiving their numbers since they played a crucial role in the Rwanda genocide. People with low dates were targeted in the riots and mass killings. Probably with less pauses. I'll probably do this with less pauses.
You can work on your audiobook skills.
By the way, the character is in the hospital after just ODing.
This is why I sound like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I sound like I just OD'd.
Yeah.
How old is he in this second chapter?
Like 24.
Oh, okay. So he's approaching it.
So after 18.
It's just crazy premise that everybody at 18 finds out the day that they die.
Yeah,
or
that's
the
crazy.
age.
The dates and the age.
Like, would you know if you could? the age.
Would I know? Or yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, I already operate in a way where it's like, hey, like got to seize the time and try to accomplish its dreams. But at the same time, I have a lot of lazy days where I'm playing an Xbox where I'm like, damn, that's a day gone. I'm never gonna get back. So yeah. I don't know. That's a tough, heavy question. Here, well, we got to continue this on the podcast broadcast. We'll wrap things up with Jack Fletcher, who is the author of Joy Punks. Which is Joy Punk's Writing on the Wall. You can find on Amazon or anywhere where you could purchase books. We're going to wrap things up with Jack right after these words. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. I didn't mean to stop. I was able to.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I was just trying to give you some context.
Yeah, it was good context. And, I don't want to mess it up. But, being an audiobook voiceover artist is something I aspire to be, actually.
Okay.
You could do it.
I'm sure, if it's the right role, right?
Right.
I can't read like the Margot Robbie biography, right? That's not going to happen. But in 24 though, I don't know if I sound 24. I sound a little grizzled there.
Okay, those guys been through it. How long did it take you to write a whole book?
So it took me so I was doing kind of stand up at the same time. So I was like, I would go out to a bunch of mics, get drunk. I would come home, I'd start writing. And I did that for a couple years. And then.
So you were like Jack Kerouac kind of way where you
very much so.
You wanted to be drunk and just start writing?
Yeah. I'm literally reading On the Road right now.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic novel.
Yeah.
But, and then it got to this point where it was kind of like nearly done. And so I was like, I got to print this out, refine all this stuff. And I kind of printed it out, forgot about it. And then I got way too drunk and I saw my mom and I was like, hey, Mom, I wrote a book. And my mom's like, you wrote a book? And I was like, yeah, I wrote a book. You know how people write books? I wrote a book. And she's like, okay, can I read it? And I was like, sure. And so I gave it to her. She read the whole thing in one sitting and was like, you got to do something with this.
Oh,
and that's when I
nice.
started taking it seriously and finishing it up and polishing it and sending it out to people and all that stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, that's beautiful too. And you're like, I wrote the whole thing when I was blackout. Came home from the bar, wrote a book. I woke up. I'm like, Mom, I got a book.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And a girl pregnant. It's crazy. It's a busy night in the middle of the night, dude. I think it's a fascinating premise too. And it's great too because it screams Arizona. I actually lived in Flagstaff and it's set in the mountains of Flagstaff, Arizona. Yeah. Have you spent some time up there as well?
Yeah. So, our family used to go up there during the summer for a little bit and hang out. And so Flagstaff has like a deep place in my heart. And so I didn't want it to write it like in a big city because I feel like there's too many drug stories that take place in big cities. Yeah. Right. And I think drugs are everywhere. So,
there's drugs in Flagstaff for sure.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple phone numbers if you need it. So they're there. In fact, there's a little to do in that town beyond drugs. There's the downtown scene and either way. Well, in fact, actually, I broadcast in Flagstaff as well. So
very cool.
Before you leave and when you get done with the podcast, we'll talk a little bit on that radio station as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so people in Flagstaff could hear it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
you
cool.
live in Phoenix now, right?
I live in Phoenix now. Yeah.
And drove down how did you reach out to the Frank show, get a hold of Rob?
I went to U of A. I was doing stand up in
okay, so you know Christine.
I know Christine.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we don't hold that against you.
No, she's always been very, very nice to me. So she's great.
Nice. And well, have you ever? So what? You're still doing stand up then?
Yeah.
And so like, have you gone to get the point of like touring and being a road comic yet?
It's more. So I moved to New York and I was taking it seriously, and then New York didn't really vibe with me. I had like this OCD thing, and it just kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
And so after I came home, I kind of felt like that stand-up comedy was never going to be a living for me, and so now I just do it for fun. I do it to make me happy.
Yeah, well, Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Actually, that probably would be a good note to leave on as we're talking with Jack Fletcher, the owner of Joy Punks, Writing on the Wall. It's a book that's based and set in the mountains of Flagstaff, Arizona, about an 18-year-old, or all 18-year-olds at the point, get told exactly when they're going to die. Right. And then the journey that happens with this 18-year-old because he was told he's going to die at 27 and what he does during that time. And it sounds like a fascinating tale and a fun read. And you can find the book available everywhere where you can find books online, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and everything else. But yeah, that will lead me to a beef tip, because you were talking about doing stand-up comedy as well and attempting to go to New York, being like, this is not my thing, but still doing stand-up comedy, not necessarily as the end-all be-all, but, as a form of self-therapy and something that you find happiness from. And we all have those things that, might scare us to do, but, we end up feeling so much fulfillment and happiness and joy from this. It really adds a purpose. And it gives us that kind of like free therapy that we didn't know that we needed to have,
Right.
So you go up there in front of a crowd, you spill your stories, you make them laugh, you feel better, you get that high. And whether it's stand-up comedy or anything that you aspire to and love to do, you go out and do it, because in general, the more you chase the things that make you happy, the happier you are at the end of the day. And that's my beef tip. Look at dropping wisdom here.
Love it.
Yeah. Now I'm going to read this in a very sexy tone on the way out before we wrap things up, and you'll hear the theme song. Let's see. I'm just going to go straight to this is my sexiest voice. If I was a voiceover person.
There's a scene in a strip club, if you can find that.
What page is that on? 69?
Check 69. That'd be
okay. Hey, man.
I see strip club.
You see strip club? Hurry up. We're running out of time here, Maury.
Oh, 89?
89. Okay. Nice. Okay. Naomi carefully pulled Mildred's hands from her chest as a man in back whistled. Hey, honey, want to get a private room and talk in there? Naomi asked. Oh, my God. Yes, Mildred replied. Will you tell Sophia to bring 2 champagne glasses to our room? She asked me. Sure, I replied. Just be gentle with Naomi, okay? Mildred covered her eyes and giggled with her fingers and took Naomi's wrist. Oh, you guys want so much more. I know you do. That's all the time we have for the show. Thank you for listening. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Thank you, Jack Fletcher.
My pleasure. Truly.
Thank you.
I will knock out all your teeth.
It was getting bonerific. I know. I know.
Rock 102.1 KFM.